the palms start sweating, trying to prep and do everything that you could. There are times as well that I had to do it and I hated it. And I knew I didn't do very well, which had a knock-on confidence while I was
Yeah.
speaking as well.
Mm.
And that's when that nerve and anxiety come back and you just wish that that session will end. My highlight has been when we did the media training, that it got me thinking that I can actually do this.
Yeah.
With a little prep, a little guidance, I can actually do this.
Hello, everyone. I am with Yoohaina here today to do another quick client interview. Let's get straight into it. Yoohaina, would you tell us a little bit about just who you are and what you do?
My name is Yoohaina. I am head of people and culture at a company called Applica. We are a recruitment company within the energy sector. I'm working with Ed for the past 6 months or so on my public speaking because I really want to be able to deliver training, meetings, and coaching effectively.
So, Yoohaina, before you started working with me, how did you used to feel about public speaking and presentations? What was the automatic response?
Absolutely mortifying. The funny thing is, as my job title suggests, a head of people and culture, I love working with people, connecting with people on different levels. But when I was told that I need to speak in front of a crowd, even though with those people who you have relationship with, the first thing is that mortification set in and the palms don't start sweating, trying to prep and do everything that you could, but still, you fail to do so when the day comes that you have to deliver it.
Were you avoiding things? Were you doing it and then getting not very good feedback? Did you feel like people weren't listening to you? What was the knock-on effect?
The knock-on effect is that I start to talk really, really, really fast. And in turn, people doesn't understand the message that I want to present or I want to convey. People lose interest, within your time frame that you were given in the presentation. And basically, you ended up that you're wasting people time essentially because you didn't get your message across. People didn't understand what you're talking about. And also, it's about reputation because when you have to stand in front of people, you want to almost portray yourself that you are reputable in the things that you're talking about, but instead you lose that confidence. So
Mm.
whatever the message that you give out, it's almost mean nothing. When I had to stand and talk in front of people, the people I don't know, I find I did better than having to do a Teams call in the company Y. I want to do so well in front of those people because I want them to see how much I improve. I want them to see that this is what I do, day to day. I'm here to support them. But with people, you're probably not going to see again. You thought, I'm just going to go up, do it. And what happened, it doesn't matter
Yeah.
because you probably don't see them again.
So you're putting more pressure on yourself when you're speaking internally to your team and your people because
Correct.
you want to get the message across to them. You want
Yeah.
them to see that you're an authority and you're credible with what you're saying. And then you're worried because you start to overthink, you start to speak too fast,
Yes.
and it ends in a bit of a disaster.
Yes. You hit nail on the head there. And, I think you, you explained better than I did. And that is essentially what happened.
It's only because it's a story that I see many times, and it's where I was as well. So, we've all been in the same boat. What was it that ultimately pushed you to come and get some help with this, Johanna? Was it a specific thought, an event, or was it just a culmination of all of these problems that eventually pushed you to getting some help?
It is a combination of things, and it is also part of my self-development. Because as people professional, you spend your day doing the policy, putting process in place, doing things, that you should have done. But also part of that is also learning development. How can I coaching or teaching somebody to do something when I can't even speak in front of, a room? I want to be able to deliver the training in front of my peers, and I don't want to be feeling like this nerve,
Yeah.
this mortification, and start speaking really fast because otherwise my training will also mean nothing.
So let's fast forward a little bit, Johanna. You've now been in our training, you've worked with me one to one, we've been on calls, you've been to our workshops. What's been your favorite part of the training?
My highlight has been when we did the media training, that it got me thinking that I can actually do this.
Yeah.
with a little prep, a little guidance, I can actually do this. And I mean, even now, here we are, we're talking about my experience and almost like that media training that we went through.
Well, that brings me to our next question because I was going to say, of all the different techniques and theories that we cover, of which there are many, and they underlie the four keys, the words, voice, body, and mindset. What do you think has been the most helpful for you in terms of practical use day to day?
The rule of three that stuck with me for every single time I have to do the presentation. Keep it simple and also, give yourself an opportunity to go back and record yourself and watch it, no matter how cringe that could be.
Yeah.
But the more you do, the more that you notice things that you could have done better. There are other, framework that we follow, but it's always go back to that rule of three.
Yeah, you've mastered it now, I would say, Johanna. You've mastered the rule of three. This is why we practice these things so often, right? Because they need to be ingrained. It's like any skill.
Yeah.
You have the repetition to get it embedded. And in order to use it when the stakes are high and the pressure is high, you need to be well versed with it. So previously you said if you're asked to present, your reaction would be mortified.
I'll be
What's
like,
your reaction now when you're asked to present? Has that changed?
yes, almost like, yep, okay, now I know what to do. Feel
Mm,
more confidence in delivering the presentation. Recently, I have done two workshops. I feel more confident standing up and deliver those sessions. What I like to do next is perhaps coach people in terms of their career progression. I can talk, about my experience, and usually people come out of university, they're like, well, I have a degree now. I don't know what to do with it. What can I do?
yeah.
How can they start in their career journey? And that's something that I'm looking to do. That give you a be lecture, external, to help sharpen those skills.
So you want to give back to other people, and
Yes.
now you feel you've got the confidence and the skills to be able to go and do that and to give that a go. Whereas previously, would I be right in saying you might have avoided doing those things because you didn't feel ready for them?
Yes, there are times as well that I had to do it and I hated it and I knew I didn't do very well, which had a knock-on confidence while I was
Yeah.
speaking as well.
Mm.
And that's when that nerve and anxiety come back and you just wish that that session will end, immediately because it's almost like you fail and you just
Mm.
didn't really want to carry on. But now I know what I need to do when those feelings start to creep up on me again. I just need to, compose myself, give
Mm.
myself maybe, 5 seconds to breathe, and then trying to reorganize my thought again and almost continue or start over again.
So, Johanna, last question, really. Thank you so much for your time today and for sharing all of this. What would you say to someone else who is in a similar position? They are a professional in some industry, they're finding themselves having to speak, having to communicate, having to lead a team potentially, and they're struggling with similar things: nerves, anxiety, self-doubts, lack of skills. What would your message be to them?
One is get in touch with Ed because if he can help me, if he can help me to get to where I am right now, then anybody can do it. And public speaking is not that scary. You just need to give yourself the time and also the patience. It's part of your self-development. You don't have to do it for professional as well. You could be, speaking in a wedding. You want to do a really good job as a best man or maid of honor. And I really hope that one day I would be able to just stand up on the stage, with hundreds of people and be able to deliver it and share my experience, whether it be my work experience, my personal experience, or even my journey about public speaking.
I can already see you on stage with those hundreds of people. And by the way, that's something that I used to think about as well. I remember back in the day when I was very nervous, I would sometimes visualize myself walking onto a stage in front of a big audience. And even just imagining it would cause me to have anxiety. I'd feel nervous just sat at home in bed picturing this. And fast forward not that many years, that has happened. And now I do that. And it looks just like how I used to imagine it. So weird how these things work sometimes, isn't it? Anyway,
And yeah, and I think you use that to, as part of our journeys as well, because you connect with us, you've been where we are, and you understand how hard it is and what challenges that we have to face to be able, to stand up and talk in front of people.
If you hadn't been through it, it would be very hard to empathize, wouldn't it? Because you would just think,
Yeah.
what's wrong with these people? Just go and speak. Like, what's your problem?
Correct.
It's only
Yeah.
when you've felt the how hard it can be that you can appreciate the challenge.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
yeah. So Yoohaina, anywhere people can follow you if they're interested in people and culture or Applica, or they just want to come and find out more about you, where should they go?
You can find out more about Apica and myself through our LinkedIn. Last year we won Breakthrough Culture Award, so you can have a look, on our story and how we won that as well, or even our website. Just type in Google Apica Servicing.
Yoohaina, thanks again, and I'll speak to you again soon.
Thank you.